Hey, what's up, everyone, and welcome back to the EJ Brad and Kai. Hope everyone is well. So today I'm going to be talking about my favorite celebrity encounters. I've had quite a bit. I've come from the hospitality world, and I live in Atlanta, Georgia. So you know what they say about hot Atlanta. But I've met a lot of them, working in hotels mostly. But I want to talk about my favorite celebrity encounters. Some of them I took pictures with, and some I just have amazing stories. So we're going to start first with Jasmine Guy. So you know Jasmine Guy, better known as Whitley from A Different World. She also used to be a singer. She did a song called Try Me. That was one of her biggest hits. Well, I used to work at a Woodruff Art Center as a concierge. So that was when they do a lot of plays at the Lions Theater, and she was here for an actual play that she was producing. And I was the concierge. And one day after she came out of her production for that day, she had a lot of people around her, and they were taking autographs and everything. And after they left, she was a little tired, so I was making sure she was okay. And I asked if I could take a picture with her, and she said yes. So took a picture with her. She was very sweet. She was tired though, so she was like, "I'm gonna go home now, and thank you for understanding." I was like, "No," and she had her daughter with her, I said, "No, that's fine." So it was a great encounter. So kudos and shout out to you, Jasmine Guy. All right, my next one is the amazing, incomparable, original dream girl, Jennifer Holliday. Yes, I met Jennifer Holliday when I was working at a hotel here in Atlanta, and I worked as a front desk agent at the time, and she was here. I just happened to glance across the lobby, and there she was. She was waiting for someone to pick her up, and she had to go to some type of rehearsal, and then she was going to some type of awards dinner. I think she was being honored for some reason, and at that time she seemed a little busy, so I didn't want to bother her. But then I asked her if she'd mind taking a picture with me, and she said when she comes back. So I didn't know if I was going to see her or not, but when she came back, she was on my shift, and she was like, "Okay, I'm ready for that picture now." She remembered, actually, and we took some pictures. So it was really a nice experience, to meet the original Effie from Dreamgirls, also known, for that famous song, "And I Am Telling You." So that was a great, great experience. My next person was an activist, a nutritionist, and a comedian also. And I met him at a hotel also. His name is Gregory. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2017, but I got a chance to meet him before he passed. He actually was coming through the lobby, and a lot of people used to go to the bathroom, that was right by my desk where I worked, come off the streets and everything. And so I didn't know exactly. I kept looking, and I was like, that looks like, and my coworker was with me, but she's like 21, so she really didn't know who he was. I said, "Is that Dick Gregory?" And she said, "Who?" I said, never mind. And I said, "Are you looking for the restroom, sir?" And he said, "Yes, I am." I said, "Okay, Mr. Gregory." And then he looked, and he said, "How are you?" And he said, "I'll be right back." And he came back. We talked for a while, and it was just a wonderful experience. He talked about, racism and different things going on in the world. I thought of him as someone that was very wise, and very serious person. But we took pictures together as well. So that was a great experience. The next one is another dream girl, original dream girl. She probably one of my favorite encounters because she was just so nice and friendly, and that is Cheryl Lee Ralph. So I met her also when she was coming in. I was a concierge, and she was coming in from somewhere, and she had a gift basket. And I said, "I have a gift basket for you." And she said, can you bring that to my room? So, I was like, of course, that's my opportunity to really meet her. And so she was like, "Okay, I said, "I'll give you a chance to go to your room." And she said, "No, you can bring it up right now. Give me about 5 minutes." So I waited about 10 minutes, and then I went up there to her room, and she said, "Come on in." And she was asking where she put it, and I said, "Maybe over there might be nice." And she said, "Okay." She said, "It's not the best looking gift basket." And I laughed a little bit. And then before I left, I was saying it was nice to meet her, and she was such a wonderful person. And I was like, "Do you mind if I take a picture?" And she's like, "Sure." So she grabbed my cell phone and just started snapping away. And she was posing with me in pictures and everything. But what I noticed is that she sent some to herself, the pictures, but then she deleted her number out of my phone. I didn't notice that until afterwards, but I said, okay, I understand why, But she was so friendly. Cheryl, if you're watching this, I thank you for the opportunity, because that was a great, great moment for me. And I was bragging about it all day. All right, the next person is somebody who you know as a villainess, Veronica Harrington on Tyler Perry's show, The Have and the Have-Nots. If you watch that show, you know who I'm talking about. Her name is Angela Robinson. Now, I met her also, same hotel, and she was coming through. We used to have a lot of events at this hotel, so we have a lot of celebrity balls and things like that. So she was there for something she was doing. I'm not exactly sure. But there was an assistant waiting for her assistant. And I asked her assistant who she was waiting for, and she said Angela Robinson. So it clicked in my head that it's probably the same one. So when she came in, I was like, oh my God, that's Angela Robinson, that's Veronica. So I was like, how you doing, Ms. Robinson? And she said, oh, I'm doing fine. She would have such a bubbly personality, way different than her character. And so I reached over the desk like this and said, do you mind if I take a picture with you? And she said, sure, baby, come on around from around that desk. And she said, come on around. And I came around and took a picture with her. She was just the sweetest person. So thank you, Angela Robinson. Oh, that was a great moment too. My next one is somebody who you may know from Oz, from The Wire, from a show called Fringe. He's been in a lot of great HBO shows and other shows and movies. His name is Lance Reddick. And he had been at my hotel. I worked at an extended stay hotel. And he had been there for probably a month and a half. And like during the second week of him being there, I kept saying to myself, he looked familiar. I've seen him from somewhere, from some kind of show. So I got on my computer and I was looking, trying to figure out, what it was. And I couldn't figure it out at first, but then I found it and I was like, Lance Reddick. So then when I started talking to him, and I see him like a lot after he came back from his rehearsals or whatever he was here for. And I think he was shooting a show. And I was like, hi, how you feeling every day? And he was like, I'm doing okay. I'm a little tired. And then I asked him one day, if I could take a picture with him. And he was like, sure. So he took some pictures with me. And he was very nice and pleasant about it. A lot of celebrities usually are pretty nice. There are some that are not so nice. But we're only talking about the ones that were most memorable to me. So thank you again, Lance Reddick. Okay, now my next one is somebody who from Why Did I Get Married? Why Did I Get Married To? From Empire. And she is the incomparable and funny and real Tasha Smith. And I met Tasha Smith working at another hotel. I worked at a lot of hotels, y'all. And she was just a burst of sunshine, always down to earth. She's like the realest person I've ever met in my entire life as far as a celebrity. Down to earth. And the funny little story about her was she wanted to get her nails painted. She wanted to get her nails done. And so she was asking, I was the concierge, so she asked me, did I know where to get her nails done that was close by? I said, of course, there's a place over here called Piedmont Nails. So she was like, oh, I said, it's not that far, it's about a block and a half away. She's like, oh, that's easy, I could walk over there. So she started going out the door, and all of a sudden, all the doorman and the bellman, oh, can we get your ride? She was like, no, I'm fine, I can walk, it's only a couple blocks. Eric told me where to go, like that. And so she went on by her business. Came back about an hour later, showed me her nails, and she said, they did a pretty good job, considering, I didn't really know them. She's like, thank you. And we talked a couple more times while she was there. Always cool to talk to. It felt like she was a friend, you know what I mean? Not a celebrity. Like, you could just really talk to her all the time. So, Tasha, you my girl, all right? And I always remember you. And I follow you, on your social media, so I always make a shout out to you. All right, my next one is somebody who was the mother of television for a lot of us. She was Claire Huxtable on The Cosby Show. Yes, Felicia Rashad. And also, most recently in The Fall from Grace, a Tyler Perry movie. If you haven't seen that movie, check it out with Felicia Rashad in it. So I used to work at a pharmacy store. I'm not going to say which one, but she came in there as a cashier. And she came in there, but at first I didn't realize it was her because she had a baseball cap pulled all the way down. So I didn't know if it was her or not, but I kept looking. I'm like, that's gotta be her. And she didn't have any makeup on. I was like, that's Felicia Rashad. So she came to my register, and she had two little kids with her, and I assumed they were her grandkids. And so she came over, and I reached down like real quiet and was like, I think you're one of the greatest. And she was like, thank you. She was like, but please, And I was like, because she didn't want to be recognized, and I respected that. So, but she was like, thank you. And I'm like, you're welcome. And I rang her up. She was talking about somebody on one of the magazine tabloids, and she laughed about that, and then she left. So that was a good encounter there too. So Felicia Rashad, love you. All right, my next one is someone who, it was really funny how I met her. And you may know her, but her name is Charmaine Maxwell, better known as Maxie. She was in the R&B group Brownstone. Actually, they were the first ones signed to Michael Jackson's label back in the day, MJJ Records. So, Grapevine was one of their songs, If You Love Me. And she was staying at a hotel I was working at. I was at the front desk. And she was asking me, this is before Uber and Lyft, so it was a while ago. And she was asking if I can get her a taxi. And I'm like, sure. And she was with another lady. And I said, you know what? You look just like the girl Maxie from Brownstone. And she was like, really? And the other girl looked at her, and they looked at each other, and they started laughing. And so the other girl was like, you really think she looked like Maxie? I was like, yeah. I said, I love Brownstone. That's one of my favorite groups. I started naming songs and everything. And she was like, you really think I'm her, huh? And I was like, yeah. She was like, I'm just shocked because nobody ever recognizes me. She's like, they'll recognize Nikki Gilbert, the lead singer, but I never get noticed. She was like, I can't believe that you recognize me. I said, yeah, you're one of my favorites. I know my group, like that. And she was like, wow. And so she took a picture with me, and then she had called Nikki Gilbert, the lead singer, on the phone. Was like, Nikki, she was like, girl, somebody recognized me from the group. His name is Eric. He worked at the hotel. And then she gave me the phone, and I talked to Nikki too. And Nikki was like, so you recognize Maxie, huh? I was like, yeah. She was like, yeah, we're getting ready to do a promotional thing because they was getting ready to work on another album. Unfortunately, it never did come out, the album. And then unfortunately, she passed away in 2015. So may she rest in peace, Maxie. I love you. So that was a great encounter as well. Now, my next one is the third original Dream Girl. So I met all three Dream Girls, original cast members, and it was Loretta Devine. And Devine, she was. I met her at a hotel, and she was just pleasant. And I didn't talk to her for long. She was actually in the lobby, and this hotel that I worked at, celebrities felt kind of comfortable sitting in the lobby. So she was in the lobby, and she was getting ready to go out. And I was like, all right, take care, Miss Devine. And she was like, she giggled like she giggles on the movies and stuff. And she was like, okay, thank you guys so much. She was just so sweet and, just so natural, so, down to earth. So Loretta Devine, if you don't know her, she was also in This Christmas and Jumping the Broom. So Miss Loretta Devine. Also, one of my probably in-depth conversations with a celebrity was a lady named Juanita Jennings. You may know her on Star and in the Tyler Perry movie Daddy's Little Girls. She actually was the grandmother of the little girls. And then she passed away in the movie. But she was fantastic, Juanita Jennings. I would talk to her almost every day that she was there. She came a couple times there because she was shooting for Star. but she loved staying at this hotel. It was her favorite hotel to stay at in Atlanta. And so she knew my boss. She knew like the different people who worked there. And when she met me and her hit it off like we were friends. And we would talk all the time. Like I talked to her for about a half an hour. And she was like, let me stop talking because I got to go, and I got to go to this thing. I'm going to be late, and stuff like that. But she would always come and talk to me. She was so down to earth. And I miss you, Juanita. I miss talking to you because I don't work there anymore. But I miss talking to you. And I hope you're doing well. Now, my next one was really a good conversation, too. And it was the famous T-Boz from TLC. Now, the story behind that is I'm working at a hotel, and my coworker and myself was at the desk, and there was two ladies that came in. They had some kids with them, and the lady was getting a room. She's checking into the room, and they were going to have like a little birthday party for her little daughter. So there was a lady that was sitting back on one of the tables there while the other lady was checking in. And so my coworker said, that's T-Boz. And I said, where? She said, sitting over there. I said, no, it's not. She said, yes, it is. That's T-Boz. And I said, no, it's not. And the lady who was checking in looked back at her and said, girl, they think you T-Boz. And they started laughing. So she said, I know it's T-Boz. That's what my coworker said. And so she came up to the desk and said, now how you going to call me out like that? She was like, well, I know who. She said, well, how did you know? I got this hat pulled down and stuff. She's like, I know who I like. And T-Boz, you know you my girl, blah, blah, blah. So they were still checking in, and T-Boz came over to where I was. They had like a little bakery section over there and like a little Starbucks coffee section. And I went over there and we talked about them coming back making music. This was in 2007, so they was talking about making more music, and her daughter wanted her to get back into making music. After they hadn't done much after Left Eye had passed, and we had a really good conversation. I mean, it was phenomenal. So T-Boz, thank you. If you remember, shout out to you. All right, now I have actually one more that I want to talk about, and I saved her for last because she was one of my favorite ultimate experiences. And this is the wacky, incomparable, crazy, but really down to earth Grace Jones. Grace Jones, and I was young. I was like 23 when I met her. This was back in 1989, October 22nd, 1989 to be exact. I'll never forget the date. I used to work at a bank. My manager, her brother was named Victor, and he was a good friend of Grace Jones. They was like best friends. And she actually made a song about him called Victor Was a Jazz Musician. I found that out later. So I was off work. Me and my roommate was at home, and my manager called me, was like, she knew that I liked Grace Jones, and she was like, so what if I told you I had tickets to see Grace Jones and get a chance to meet her? She said, you want to go? I was like, yeah, I want to go. What you mean? I was like, can my roommate go? And she was like, yeah, your roommate can go. So I was like, Willie, we going to see Grace Jones. He couldn't believe it. So she came and picked us up. We went to the hotel. It was the Stouffer's Hotel that's no longer in Cleveland, downtown Cleveland, Ohio. And she was staying in the presidential suite. We went up to the presidential suite to meet her. She was in the living room area. She had on a robe, no makeup on. She was very pretty. And she was sitting there having some room service. They had the little room service table that they rolled out with a tablecloth on it. She was sitting there eating, and she was talking to my manager, and she said, have a seat. So we sat down, and they were talking for a minute, and she was so down to earth. I just couldn't believe how, because Grace Jones, you see her in different stuff, and she's like crazy, but she was so down to earth. It was just amazing. So then she had to get ready for a concert because she was having the concert that night. The concert was called Grace in Your Face. That was the name of the concert. And I have the VIP card still to this day to prove that I was there, because we got VIP section access. So that was great. So she said that she likes to take showers and baths, so she had to take a shower and a bath. And she take a bath first and then wash off the dirt from the bath. That's how she did it in the shower. So she, my manager's brother, Victor, had a suite connected to her. So we went to his suite while she got ready. We had some champagne from the hotel. We sat there and drank while she got dressed. And then when she came out, she was Miss Grace Jones. I was like, okay, that's Grace Jones. That's who I know as Grace Jones. So we took that, her suite had an elevator, a private elevator. So we took the elevator with her down and went to the lobby, and it was paparazzi there waiting for her. And they were taking pictures. We had to step aside, and they were taking pictures of Miss Jones and all this. So then we were like, okay, how we get to the concert? My manager taking us, and she was like, no, you can ride in the limo with us. That's what Grace Jones said. So we rode in the limo with Grace Jones. I sat on the same side of the limo as her. You know, the limo had the seats this way. You all facing each other. It was Grace and myself, and then everybody else sitting on that side. So it was like really exciting. And so we rode with her to the concert. The other part was us going to the store, because she had this hair that stood up, you know, kind of like Kid and Play kind of, but like the height. And she wanted to know, she said, Reddick, do you know where I can get something to hold my hair up? And I said, you mean like some spritz? Because spritz was popular back then. She said, yes. So there was a drugstore along the way. So we stopped at the drugstore. She gave me $5 to go in the store to get her some spritz. The driver came out, let me out the limousine. People was looking like, who is that? I go in the store and I'm getting this spritz, and I'm thinking I'm all that this time. I go to the register and everybody's like, who's in the car? Who's in the limo with you? And I was like, oh, Grace Jones, you know, we're on our way to the concert. You know, I said it like that. Oh, wow, you know, so I get back, the driver come and let me back in the limo. We drive to the concert. She gets out. The car pulls up to a trailer next to the car, you know, pulls up to this trailer. She gets out, goes in the trailer to get dressed. She said, enjoy the show. We go to the VIP and we watch a most amazing concert of Grace Jones. It was fabulous. We drank champagne all night, had a fabulous time. So that was like my favorite all-time encounter. You know, Grace, if you're watching, you know, thank you for that wonderful experience. And thank you to all the celebrities I talked about on this episode of My Celebrity Encounters. Thank you for watching. I love you. If you like this video, like it, subscribe, and share, okay? And if you want to see more things from us, then give us a call, give us a email, or write down on the comments below in the description and tell us what you want to see from us. Also, make sure you watch our other channel, which is Kai2G. That is Kai's channel. It's a gaming channel with other wild, wacky things to see. So check it out. He has a series called Kai Shots. You'll like that. And his gaming series. So make sure you check it out. All right, guys. Be safe. Have a good one. Peace. Wait, hold on 1 minute. You're not done yet. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. And also follow us on Instagram and Twitter.